So a little follow-up video from last night, the video where I told you the guy had to drive like 60 mile an hour to get any kind of heat. And then I found out the reservoir, the coolant reservoir, was pretty much bone dry, and there was so much air in it that you had to be going a certain speed and get that coolant moving so much to push the air out of the heater core in order to get some heat. Well, these are the parts that I replaced to fix this job because I found multiple leaks. So here it is. The reservoir was leaking, so this big tank right here is this whole entire air box section reservoir. It's all one piece. The part number for that, the part number for the hose that connects to it, the part number for the Y pipe that goes up to the top of the engine, and then here's the O-ring that goes in the radiator, the upper radiator hose side. So basically, pull the air box out of the way, pull the quick connect off of the reservoir, upper radiator hose, clean it real good with some emery cloth or some or the filler or the inlet neck here. Clean it real good with emery cloth or some sandpaper, just real nicely clean everything, all the junk off of it. Pull your throttle body out of the way. You can let it sit right here. Clean this. This is the thermostat housing, so you'll have to clean this as well. And that extra O-ring is what goes in this pipe here, because you can see it's flat. There's a flat edge. There's a flat edge inside there, and that flat edge won't reseal, so you're gonna have to pick that O-ring out and then put the new O-ring in, and then basically put everything back together. Getting this far, so far, it's only taken me probably 20 minutes. It's nothing hard to this at all. Okay, so I got the O-ring installed in this hose here. I picked behind there's a white ring in here. I picked it out. It's flat. It's not, you can see how it's more flat than it is round. That's not going to seal properly, so the O-ring in the upper radiator hose has to be replaced. I got this nice and cleaned off and installed the neck that goes into the inlet housing, and then I got this nice and clamped in on the thermostat housing here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on pulling this reservoir and stuff off. This hose here comes with this whole assembly. So you have two 13mm bolts up here that have to come out. Remove this hood switch out of the way, get out of your way so you can clear to get to that hose, and this whole assembly will slide out of here, and then you just drop the new one in, and then you just go ahead and hook all your new hoses and stuff back up, and you'll see when I get it all done. It's easy. So I've got everything installed now. I'm going to put the air box and stuff back together, but you can see, make sure these rubber grommets go back in this case, because I often forget to take them out of the old case and switch them over. But down in here there's a couple spots where it just basically sits in, and then you have two bolts that hold everything in. This hose right here comes with this case, and it goes in right here. This hose just basically goes right over to the top of the thermostat housing, and then here's everything that was replaced for this job. The whole entire airbag box is one assembly. The top hose, the Y pipe, and a new O-ring. Be very careful when you go to put this side on here. You're going to have to really put a lot of pressure up on this hose to get it to fit back on that thermostat housing, but it will fit. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put everything, the rest of it back together, start it up, and then check for leaks. But that's this job. That's how you fix this. The typical coolant leak, 99.9% of the time, it's the connection at that hose going into the reservoir itself, or this Y pipe right here. Sometimes it leaks cold, sometimes it leaks hot. But just replace it all. Just be done with it and replace it all.